Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we've got a new Quaquaval card and all the pre-evolutions, and this one is going to look a little bit familiar. It is awesome. It's got a phenomenal ability, and yet it's a stage 2. Like, we've done this before, we've talked about this before. It's a stage 2. The fact that it's a stage 2 is annoying, remains annoying, and will forever be annoying. But I do feel like for this one, it kind of might be worth it, because it really is that good of an ability. What we've got is once during your turn, you may put one card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, and if you do, draw cards until you've got 5 cards in your hand. This is awesome. And one of my first reactions here is, it's Claydol. Because putting cards back from your hand and then drawing, that was the classic Claydol thing. Now, for so many reasons, this is not as good as Claydol. I am not pretending this is as good as Claydol. It's not. I am pretending that it is very much a similar kind of thing as Claydol, because it is. Now, Claydol put 2 cards back, although you could just do 1, and drew until you had 6 cards in your hand. But with Claydol here, you had the combination of being able to get rid of 2 cards, fewer cards in hand means you're drawing more, that's good, and drawing until you got 6 rather than drawing until you got 5, and the fact that it's a stage 1, not a stage 2. So Claydol had 3 really explicit advantages over this. I'm not pretending this is as good as Claydol, but Claydol's good to the point we're never getting it back. I've done it in my free cards we're never going to get again series. Claydol has been one of the cards I featured in that series. It is very literally too good, and there is no way we're ever getting that card back. But in terms of little bit of a replacement, yeah, this is not too bad. Now, a lot of you probably didn't go to Claydol because you're not quite as old as I am. Never mind. You probably went to Bibarel. Okay. And in a lot of ways, this is a stage 2 Bibarel, because of course Bibarel here is draw until you got 5 cards in your hand. This is put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck and draw till you got 5 cards in your hand. A lot of the time, this is better. A lot of the time, you want to put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck because you've got a card you're not going to need till later or a card you're just not going to need generally. Being able to get rid of that and draw an extra card is great. It does mean that, let's say for argument's sake, you get INO'd to 1 card in hand and you want to play that card. Well, you can play that card and then use Bibarel. You cannot play that card and then use Quaquaval, because Quaquaval requires you to put a card from your hand on the bottom of your deck, and if the only card in hand is a card you want to play, then you can either put it to the bottom of your deck, or you can play it, but you very obviously cannot do both. Most of the time, putting a card to the bottom of your deck is an advantage. You basically get rid of a card you don't want, so that you can draw an extra card afterwards, and that is very obviously a good thing. But you do have to put a card back to the bottom of your deck in order to use this. You cannot just use it like Bibarel. It says nada there, which is essentially if you do. So just to be clear, the putting the card back is not something which you can do if you feel like it. It is something where either you do it or you don't use the ability. The other thing we need to remember about Bibarel is that it came out in Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars is the oldest Pokemon TCG set that is still legal for tournament play. It is as old as you can get while still being legal. And what that means is you've not got long for Bibarel. Now, these cards that we're looking at the moment, these are cards from Paradise Dragona. They've essentially started the Paradise Dragona reveal cycle. And that means that these cards are not going to be coming out in Stellar Crown. They are going to be coming out later. They're going to be coming out in the set after Stellar Crown, which is going to be our November set. That will still give us a brief period of time until probably around February, March time, when Scarlet and Violet 9 comes out, that is when we're going to actually lose Bibarel, in that February-March period. Traditionally, it's been a February set, but the last 2 years, it's actually ended up being a March set. So, somewhere around that time. However, remember that the last couple of years, we've had EUIC, and they've used the set as a legal for the first time at EUIC, but now they've moved EUIC forward a couple of months, so they probably won't be doing that again. So, I don't know. Point is, it's not going to be in Stellar Crown, it's going to be in the set after, and we're going to have something like 3 or 4 months of legality, where Bibarel is out and Quaquaval is out, and then after that, Bibarel goes away. Are you still going to want to play a Stage 2? I don't know is the honest answer. There is a strong argument here that the fact that it's a Stage 2 means that it's just not going to see any play. But make no mistake about it, it is a phenomenal ability. As a side note, we have seen the pre-evolutions. You don't really need very much. A Quaxley is 10 damage, flip a coin, if heads, 20 more damage. Yay. But no, these are not good pre-evolutions. Don't get too excited about them. Even Quaquaval's attack here, 2 energy, 120 on a Stage 2. That's terrible. Like, that's not okay. That's not useful in some situations. It's just bad. And I'm really not seeing much of an argument here, frankly. I just don't think this is a good card these are good pre-evolutions. I don't think this is a good attack. It's all about the ability. Although, shout out, because Quaquaval here does actually have Okacheke artwork, and you know I love me some Okacheke artwork. So I like the art. I'm just not a huge fan of the, actual card. But the one important thing we need to remember here is that we are going to see other Quaquavals. Like, it's a Pokemon, it's one of the first partner Pokemon from the current generation of games. That means that we are going to see a bunch. We've already seen a bunch. Are any of them actually any good? The answer is not great, honestly. Like, we had the EX that came around in Paldea Evolved, but 60 and your opponent switches and you switch, it's not exactly great, I'll be honest with you. We do have the Quaquaval from Scarlet and Violet base that lets you attach a basic energy from your hand. I do really, really, really like that one. So that's kind of cool. But I'm not really seeing much in terms of good Quaxley. I mean, probably the best one here is the one from Paldea Evolved, because single energy 30 and it's got 70 HP. Although you never really want to attack with it, but it's kind of there as an option if you want to. And in terms of Quaxwell here, again, there's just nothing that I'm looking at which is making me go, oh my goodness, I need to play that. Again, there's a single energy 30 from Paldea Evolved, and that's probably the best one we've got. Although, to be fair, we do have the 100 HP from Scarlet and Violet base, which does have extra HP and a worse attack. So I suppose you put that all together, and 100 HP single energy 40, this is the new one, by far the best Quaxwell we've got. Point is, at some point you're going to imagine we're going to be able to do some combinations here. We're going to get more Quaquaval because it's a first partner Pokemon from the current generation. So at some point, yeah, we'll probably see some more here. And if we do, and if we get a good combination rolling, then I can get a little bit more excited about this. As it is, phenomenal ability, and I cannot stress enough, this ability is great. Drawing until you got 5 in your hand is good. Doing that after putting a card back is even better. But we have to point out the fact that, once again, it is a Stage 2. And I know we've got a lot of good Stage 2s in the format at the moment that do see a lot of play, but they're generally either really good attackers, redonkulous abilities, or we've got something else going on here. Like, for instance, Dragapult's a phenomenal attacker, and you've got Dracloak to help you get set up. We do play Pidgeot, which is a stage 2 support Pokemon, but it's, search your deck for any card once per turn. That's on a level above this. Plus, free retreat and more HP because it's an EX. I'm not saying this isn't going to see play. And I am not by any stretch of the imagination saying that this is bad. What I'm saying is the ability is absolutely phenomenal, but we do have a bit of a history of stage 2s being slightly less exciting. I'm going to go ahead and give this an extremely tentative 4 Wassies. I know that the attack here is terrible, and I know that it's a stage 2. None of that is lost on me. But I think the ability is so good, in a world where we're about to lose Bibarel, there is an argument here that maybe this is actually a much better card than some people are giving it credit for, and that it might end up seeing some play as we go along. That's what I think. I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would ya? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shoutouts on the channel like the lovely AB3, who's been a supporter of ours for a while now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.